being muted is actually what I was talking about. Vicky, you already knew that. So I was talking about the interesting convergence of things this week. So this morning, I was checking out my email, and there was a republished interview with Resmé Menachem, who many of you will know is the author of the book My Grandmother's Hands, which is a particularly wonderful book. So this comes at the same time, this republishing of the interview comes in the same week of the George Floyd trial, the same week that one of my patients is really big time suing her former employer for racial discrimination and no holds barred. She feels that she's doing it on behalf of all people of racial minority, and it's going extremely well. Then I had another patient come in today. And I dropped off a piece of clothing at my dry cleaners this morning, and all over the windows it had stop Asian hate, and was really quite amazing. Then another patient came in today and said, it's incredible as this comes out of hiding, this racial hate that comes out of hiding. She said it's amazing how aware I've become of tension in my body, of always being on the defensive. And this morning, as I was listening to Resmé Menachem, the author of My Grandmother's Hands, speaking, he's a therapist, and he was speaking about the somatization of the physical insult. That sounds so understated, but the physical trauma would be a better term, of being subjected to racism. And he said, if you are born to a black woman who feels that she is defended at every turn, that she's been taught to feel, it's very hard to articulate these and not get it wrong. He said that you come out with those tensions built into your body itself. And then he was speaking about the vagus nerve, the tension in the vagus nerve, but he was also speaking about the tension in psoas. And if you put the vagus nerve through the Chinese medical filter, you end up smack bang in the realm of Chiang Mai, but also of triple heater, because it meanders everywhere. It communicates everything with everything else. And so he places the impact of racism right in the Chang, of course, as we know already, as with what we do, but in the ancestral sinews. So if psoas is tight, rectus is going to be tight, SCM will be tight, paravertebrals will be tight, and diaphragm will be tight. There'll never be a time when there's a full open breath. And he talks the interviewer through some exercises, and it's actually very, very interesting. This interview was taped in February 2020, and it's very interesting to listen to the interaction between a white woman who's 61 years old and this black man, where the white interviewer is constantly interrupting the black man to prove to the black man that the white woman is not actually racist. And the whole thing he's trying to break through is that notion. And there it is, right there in the interview. It's really quite a remarkable thing to feel the gentle impetus to healing that Resme has, and the extreme defensiveness marked in a kind of a laughter that comes over the top of his voice. And I put that in the chat, I put that interview in the chat because I think it's really important to hear it as an example of the macrocosm, just in case you're interested. But so with all these things going on today, and my patient that came in this morning, who basically said, I'm ready to try to allow this tremendous tension off my physical being, the tension of racism, of being a victim of racism, off my being. She had a remarkable and thorough, how would I know if it were thorough, but it's this profound release from her physical body during the session. And so it made me want to make the ripple about helping the populace to release this trauma, helping the it's very hard to articulate these things. I don't, just to help loosen the whole thing so that people who have been oppressed by racism can begin to relax. And once they relax, white people will feel it and they will have to respond even if they don't know what's happening. And so the points would be, again, gallbladder 27, the 5 axes, to release what Resme Menachem identifies as the key containers of the trauma of racism, so that gallbladder 7 releases all of those ancestral sinews. And the other point would be, I'm open for suggestions, but the other point would be, I think, spleen 4, grandparent, grandchild, unless any of you has a better idea, so that we can set up the energetic for the next generation that comes through, yet unconceived, so that the next generation, yet unconceived, can enter into a world where it's entirely different, that the deposits, the muscular deposits, the cellular deposits are simply not there, and they come in with this absolutely, pristine view of all humanity and all beings and all nature as being one integrated collective organism, one single organism. So they would be the 2 points, spleen 4 and gallbladder 27, and the ripple would be, so Guy, the spleen 4 would be vibrated, needled and vibrated, and so the ripple would be one of supreme normality. So thanks so much for being here, and let's get to work. Thank you, Vicky.